Monday, January 10th. First item on the agenda is election of officers for 2022. I'll take a nomination for chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we leave the both president and vice president as they have been in 2021 to 2022.
A motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Foster. All those in favor to remain as is. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We'll continue as we have.
Mr. Knarzer as the chairman and Mrs. Peters as the vice chair.
Correct. Thank you. I'll take a motion on the minutes from December 13th.
Chairman, I recommend. Move to approve the minutes from December 13th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Peters, second by Mr. King. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We do have a special request or continuance. Heather Shawnee, you want to discuss that?
Yes, this is the appeal filed by Timothy Crump regarding properties commonly addresses 249 and 516 North Madison. He is appealing in order to vacate. It says fees in order to vacate, but his letter just said order to vacate that was issued by the building commissioner. I have advised the building commissioner as a staff, so I am conflicted out and I cannot advise both the BZA on this matter, having already advised the building commissioner. So the city is retaining separate counsel to represent the BZA at that appeal hearing. It will likely take a few weeks to get that all set and ready to go. So the continuance is requested by the city staff actually until February 14th. Mr. Seals, who is the building commissioner, says that he does not have issue with continuing out another 4 weeks. But he can speak for himself if he feels he needs to say anything further.
I don't object to a continuance.
Okay. If then I will take a motion to continue that appeal to February 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fuller, second by Mr. Foster. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. So we'll take it up here as part of the agenda.
So if you are here for that appeal, that will be heard by the BZA at their February 14th meeting at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Findings of fact, BZA 2021-026.
Chairman, consideration of statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as our final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2021-026.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Peters, second by Mr. Foster. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Same for BZA 2021-027.
Chairman, in consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as our final decision and final action for the variance petition number BZA 2021-027.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Polar, second by Mr. Foster. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on, no old business. Any old business from the floor? Seeing none, we'll move to new business, which we have one. It's BZA 2021-029, a development standards variance for Gregory Ilko of Crossroad Engineers. Mr. Ilko, I assume?
Yes, sir.
If you would raise your right hand and be sworn in by our secretary.
I do.
And then if you could state your name and address for the record.
Certainly. Greg Elko with Crossroad Engineers, office at 115 North 17th Avenue, Beach Grove, Indiana, 46107.
Mr. Upper, 1 second. Is anyone dialed in or online? Just want to make sure for the record that there's no one online that would wish to speak to this. Seeing none, Mr. Upper, if you would proceed, tell us why you're here.
Certainly. Today, I am here before you representing Ray Skillman, specifically the Ray Skillman Hyundai located at 1300 South US 31 for development standards for a potential or proposed building addition on the west side of their, or the east side of their existing facility. The vicinity map, and a lot of this is covered in Mr. Ferguson's staff report. Just for clarity, I'll run through it real quick. So the vicinity map, general location, kind of the southwest quad of Smith Valley and US 31. More particularly, we're located at the southwest corner of April Drive and US 31 South. It is the existing Ray Skillman Hyundai South dealership and maintenance building. The parcel map just from Johnson County GIS, RS Ford Realty LLC is the owner, which is Bill Skillman, who has signed a consent form for me to be here today. Approximately 10.91 acres total developed area. The existing zoning around the area is CL to the north and to the east, and then we've got kind of, because of the depth of the property, we've got 3 different zonings to the south, including RMC. I'm sorry, RMC and RMH, as well as CL, and then to the west we have the RA. Land use adjacent to us is predominantly car dealerships. So we do have Tractor Supply a little bit to the south, the new stores to the south of us as well, and the gas station to the south. The existing conditions, the site plan, you can see here with pretty much a detailed topo survey with the existing structure on overlaid on the property. As I mentioned, the proposed building addition is to the east side of this existing structure, and so here's a zoom in of the east side. So the front facade is getting a makeover, and then there's the building addition is really to the I guess I'll call it top left of your screen. The build out there, it's extending north. We're rerouting some storm sewer, reconfiguring some parking about that area. But that's the purpose of or that's where the addition is going in. The architectural elevations that we're looking at, so the top one here is a partial south exterior. So if you're on the south side of the building, you're looking at the building. Number of existing overhead doors there on the top, and then there's kind of a break line there because the building's so long. You're looking going from west to east as you're looking at this south elevation. And then when I've got boxed in red on that middle elevation, that's kind of part of the building addition and front facade reconfiguration that's going on there. The bottom of your screen there really is a good picture of the redone the Hyundai front facade. So that's the east elevation. I'm sorry, that's the west elevation. That is what is facing, no, that is the east elevation. That is what is facing US 31. And if you'll notice there, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
I was agreeing. I was going to interrupt if you didn't change your mind.
You can see the 2 overhead doors on the right side of the elevation. That'd be the north side of the building. And then there's actually 2 existing overhead doors on the south side. With the reconfiguration of the front facade, they're actually eliminating one of the overhead doors on the to the left of your elevation there, the south side of that. And then the rest of the building, if I go to the north elevation, so this is me standing north looking south, you can see in the red rectangle up on the top, that's the building addition itself. Have a man door, and then to the far left will be swinging doors where they can drive vehicles in and out for display in the office area. And then as you go to the right of the screen, again, there's a match line. And then I'm going from east to west on this elevation. You can see all the existing overhead doors that actually face April Drive. So that elevation would be, if I'm standing on April Drive, I'm looking south. That's the north side of the building that I'm looking at. And then the east elevation, I'm sorry, the west elevation that is on the bottom of the screen. Kind of the left side of that is just way up front. That's what the building addition is going to have. It's going to have 2 existing overhead doors and those 2 are not visible from US 31. So the variance, all that is to say that we needed a variance because the UDO number 2029, section 10314B does not allow actually loading docks or overhead garage doors facing a public street. So that is the variance that we're requesting, is that we want the BZA for us to allow those overhead doors facing the public street. The criteria for decisions, injurious to public health and safety and morals, just due to the geometrical shape of the property and the layout of the existing building, the service doors are best suited about the eastern elevation of the proposed building expansion. This allows for safer vehicular pattern about the lot. We also have the existing overhead doors that face April Drive. So those are pull in, pull out on the north side that will be included in here. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The building addition and use of the overhead doors will not alter or impede any of the adjacent properties. Actually, it will be consistent with its existing uses and very similar to the uses of the properties around directly adjacent to the subject property. And then lastly, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties. Again, with the geometric configuration of the property and building, the overhead doors are kind of hard not to face the public right away because of the orientation of 31 and April Drive. And then I think in his summary, or Mr. Ferguson in his summary made a good point that an allowed use in this area is the use or the auto dealership and the maintenance of that, and a function of that is overhead doors. So the strict application is kind of a hindrance to this development. So with all that being said, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have, but would greatly appreciate the approved variance for the overhead doors.
All right, thank you. I do want to add one. There is a 4th criteria, which is that the structure is not regulated under Indiana Code 8-23-10-3 for hazard air navigation. So that is not applicable.
You are correct. My apologies.
Oh, you're all good. We just want to make sure that's on the record. Staff had no recommendations on the approval, so that they agreed and they had no recommendations or any criteria. So that is good. Anything else to add, Mr. Ilko?
No.
Anyone else wishing to speak to this before I close the public hearing? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Open it up to the board for questions or comments. Ms. Peters?
I was just trying, this looked like this was the Ford dealership, is that changed?
Still have that.
It's
Oh,
not
okay.
even on the other side of the street.
Oh, okay, that's
So
why I was
Ford is to the
getting confused
north.
on which side it was.
Well,
Okay.
and
I think at one point.
at one point was the.
Yeah,
Ford took
originally,
over
the
GM.
Ford dealership was on the south side.
Right.
It took over
Okay.
the GM dealership, and then the GM dealership moved north on 31, and they brought the Hyundai down to the full Ford
Okay, I was just getting
That
confused because
several years ago.
I thought it was a Ford dealership and I'm like, where'd this one come from? That's okay, I'm
They
good.
look very almost like the same.
Okay, all right,
Logo.
all right,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Mr. Fuller,
No question.
Mr. Foster,
No questions.
Mr. King.
No question.
I have no questions. With that, are all the notices and affidavits and receipts in order?
Yes, they are.
And the certified copy of the Unified Development Ordinance and the comprehensive plan are also in the file. As evidence.
I will take a motion to accept them all into the record.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the Unified Development Ordinance and Comprehensive Plan, testimony of the petitioner, city planning staff, and any remonstrators, and all other exhibits presented, be they oral or written, for consideration by this board in regard to this petition and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fuller, second by Mr. Peters. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We'll take a motion on the docket itself.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Mr. Foster to approve,
Second.
and a second by Mr. King. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We'll take final action in a couple weeks, but you're welcome to move forward.
Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Yeah, I need a motion. I need a motion to direct the corporation counsel to.
Mr. Chairman, having considered the statutory criteria, move that we direct the Corporation Counsel's Office to draft written findings of fact regarding decision for variance requests presented in development standards variance BZA 2021-29. Said findings specifically incorporate the staff report and evidence submitted in the record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals and as a final decision, final act regarding this petition at its meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Foster, Mr. Foster, second by Mr. Fuller. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Any new business from the floor? Seeing none, any announcements?
Just have one, sad to report that Dale is not here this evening because his father passed away over the weekend unexpectedly. Had some heart surgery and things didn't go well. Think about him and his family. He'll be out for the rest of the week.
Yep, lots of prayers with him and the family. That's we're not good news. Any other, Shana?
No, sir.
All right, seeing none, I'll take a motion. Oh,
No, not now.
take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We are adjourned.